So, welcome to one of our many episodes coming from MissyCon.
Men on a bed.
That's right. If you remember last year, I interviewed a phenomenal movie, and I think it was one of my favorite interviews I did last year. Mr. Billy Flynn of
GeekRadioDaily.com.
Ding. And so this is Gllifrey Pirate Radio's latest episode. I am your host, David Bushnoff. I am joined by
Drummer! How's it going?
And once again,
the wonderful Billy Flynn from GeekRadioDaily.com.
Ding! Oh, so...
I'm going to have to see this GeekRadioDaily.com ding.
Ding,
to understand
yes.
ding.
Ding. Yeah, I don't know. That's a dinging.
Is it two like 1930s socialite dilettantes clinging glasses together? Like ding.
No, it's a bell.
Yes. Oh. But actually, that kind of be hot.
That would be...
Yes.
That would be... Would that be clink?
Clink!
Why don't
kind of a... Hogan!
So, wow. It's been a year since the last interview where we talked. But, you know, we are talking... We're coming together for a very special reason. All of us... And
I'm in pajamas!
No.
Raising money for Africa.
No.
All
wow, you guys are anti-African.
Wait.
That's what happens when Davey leaves the door open.
That's random people show up.
But we all had a very special experience earlier in this day.
Very crazy.
He said, as three men sit on a bed in a hotel room.
We're not traumatized.
Oh no.
We're a little confused.
In fact,
a tiny bit ashamed.
You're ashamed by what you did earlier today?
Well,
we're ashamed of what you did earlier today.
That's true.
We are talking about, we all had the honor of interviewing one Peter Davison, and if you don't know who that is for Tristan from All Creatures Great and Small.
Indeed.
Yeah, and he's also on the
special
show
of the day of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, and he's also currently on Law and Order UK. And he's in, you know, this tiny little insignificant sci-fi show called The Tomorrow People.
Yes, yes.
Elmer the Space Cowboy!
He had tickling boots applied to him.
But he was in this one amazing special called The Air Zone Solution, which you do not want to mention why he's trying to eat some food, especially your Reuben sandwich.
Yes.
He may not survive. But no, we're talking about Peter Davison, the fifth Doctor from Doctor Who. So,
who Davey does not like. Just absolutely hates him.
Calls him a rat bastard every chance he gets.
It's true.
Yeah. So what'd you guys think of Peter?
He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
By far, one of the coolest. Just incredibly laid back.
Super laid back.
Like, there's no bitter. There's no, oh, you effing nerds, I'm here with. There's nothing. Like, one of the questions I asked was because he, you know, we warned him. I'm sorry, Troutman warned him about, you know, just do the Doctor for 3 years. You don't want to get typecast. And I was like, so you did that, and you did leave, but you came back for Dimensions of Time. You came back for Time Crash. You come back for all the audio projects. Do you appreciate being able to come back when you want to? And he's like, no, see, it's not when I want to. People want me to come back, and if they want me to come back, I owe it to them to do that. And I'm like,
oh my, that is awesome.
I'm like, that's really cool, dude. That's incredibly cool.
Yeah, wow. I like what he told Drew when he was asking about, you know, the legacy he has created in Who, and how he wants to be the North Korea of Who.
Yes. Oh, yes, this is brilliant. So it's set up as much, and I apologize for the people who have already watched or will watch or have not will ever. So I said, look, so you were the Doctor. We talked about what he watched as a kid. Watched Doctor Who. You know, you have a child. You introduced her to Doctor Who. Yes, you did. Okay, so and then she married another Doctor and had a child. So the idea is that this child's father is the Doctor. His mother is also, in technically, the Doctor. His grandfather is the Doctor, which means that I asked him, do you assume that this child will be the 15th Doctor? We had a 5, we have a 10.
Right.
15, depending on, you know, there's going to be a hiatus.
Right,
you know,
right.
We'll get up to the 14th, there's going to be a hiatus. Then, you know, it's going to be one of those things, it's just kind of an unfair advantage. The kid's going to come in, it's like, I'd like to audition for the role of the Doctor. Okay, and what are your qualifications?
Do you want blood, skin sample, hair? What do you want?
No, it's just like, well, I brought my parents with me, and my grandfather. The part is yours. I mean, it's the person who turns them down, regardless of acting ability, is going to be fired because you know, I mean,
as long as we don't get Luke Perry and Inspector Spacetime kind of level, we're gonna be fine.
or Sophia, what's her face from Godfather 3?
Oh, Sophia Coppola.
Coppola.
It's like, what do you go? What?
I almost said Sophia Cage, and I realized I was overthinking that by far too many steps.
Tiny bit.
Sorry, I haven't been drinking. So.
How dare you?
Yeah, Drew.
No.
I thought that was like prerequisite for this.
It is
For him.
supposedly. But no, we were.
Been drinking like a madman.
I actually, you know, I got to do the special. You know, it was supposed to be an hour and a half, which turned into 2 hours with Davison tonight, and I don't know how we got it on the subject now, but we ended up talking about all creatures great and small, and how he had to
Stick his hand up a cow?
No, this is even better. The bull insemination.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so we started
You're an
talking
actor?
about.
Go ahead and do this.
Yeah. And they said it would be far less messy. You know, it would be a lot easier to do if you actually did it. Otherwise, you would get covered in bull semen.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just like, this is how you do it, and he did it.
Well, there you go.
And then they wanted to do the same thing with a horse, and they're like the guy that was sort of like the vet on set was like, no, get them out. They will get killed if they try to do the horse insemination thing.
You're bringing an expert.
So, yes. Uh-oh. Who do we have here?
You have to jump on the bed like
You gotta-
everyone else did.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. Let me take my shoes off.
Your clothes off, what?
Yeah. Woo!
That's going to be the best ratings ever.
Yes.
Whee!
Oh, thank goodness.
Wow, oh my god.
And we just lost Drew Meyer from the show.
Well, that was fun.
Yay! I won the pillow fight!
Okay, so we're talking bull semen.
Yeah.
That's what you were texting me.
I'm a little confused by this.
Yes.
When I talked to him about All Creatures Great and Small and Tristan,
Yeah.
one of the stories he told us about the cigarettes that they smoked. These horrible, the wood I can't remember what the damn things are called. But he said they didn't have filters because they didn't have filters then. So anybody that would smoke them, they would all be spitting because you'd get like stuff come through. So he's like, I would never inhale. So he wouldn't inhale a damn filterless cigarette, but he inseminated a bull.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Okay, standards.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that in my mouth. Where's the bull?
So, we were talking about our experiences interviewing Peter Davison. What would you like to add? You know, what was it like when you did your little special interview
He
with
was
him?
so nice, and that's probably the closest to David Tennant I'm ever gonna get.
Okay.
Okay.
It's an interesting take on that.
Yeah.
Oh, he is his father-in-law.
Technically, he's the same guy. So there you go.
Yeah.
But no, he was really nice, and he was very personable and very joking, and like, have you read his StellarCon bio?
Yes.
Wait,
Yes.
Oh,
It's
excuse
so
me?
funny.
He's going to be at
I'm
SellerCon?
at StellarCon, Mysticon. Sorry, I'm like in a million different directions. I just came back from getting food.
That's right, you heard it first, folks. Peter Davison at StellarCon.
Yeah.
You need a reason to come to this.
Yeah.
Please.
No, sorry, Mysticon bio. And like it was really goofy and funny and quirky, and he was just like that.
Yeah,
I didn't ask him to tell me about the first 68 pages of The Hobbit, though. I should have.
I'll say this. I mean, as much as I was excited about McCoy being here,
You were about to cry at the autograph table.
but I'll say this. This is incredible. This is such an incredible opportunity because I don't think the interviews would have been as they probably would have been fucking amazing, but
You love that man on a level that I don't think you're really ready to admit to just yet.
What?
I don't think you're really ready to admit just yet.
I think he's got a good idea. You just wait for our 100th episode. You watch.
Yeah, you watch.
And you understand that
You weren't in the room.
the fact that Davey didn't wear the sweater I found surprising. But,
actually, the funniest thing is
He came back and he's like, "Why didn't I wear the sweater? I'm gonna wear the sweater tonight." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Really?" He's like, "No, I'm just gonna wear my jacket, but
No, actually,
I should."
The real funny thing is we actually joked about the restraining order on the bus trip.
Okay.
oh
we
yeah,
were like-
no, he is aware.
Yeah, because the funny thing was just like the person driving the bus.
Tell me before I got on the bus.
Who's the con-chair was like, you're not going to pull Sheldon. But everybody else on the bus was like, that's actually a pretty cool idea to have a restraining order by Davison.
Oh yay! I got a blanket.
That's That's what it is.
They'd be totally a dress on me, so why not?
Sure, change it to it.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
No. Again, ratings. We're going for ratings. No, it was really cool because he's been asked Doctor Who stuff a million times, and he wasn't in any way, shape, or form that he exhibited at all tired of it. He totally owns it. He totally loves it. He's still doing other things, but he knows there's no getting past. You've got to own that.
You guys only asked him Doctor Who questions?
No.
I asked him theater questions.
Well,
so.
at first, Carl's like, okay, you're gonna have time for 3 questions. I'm like, but I've got all these other things. I always like to lead up to what people are known for. I like to hit them when I interviewed Marina Sirtis, I did the big interview. I'm like, she was on Star Trek Next Generation, she was in Gargoyles, so of course I have to ask you first off, what was it like being in Death Wish 3? That's what I like to do with people, is get that off the wall thing. Yeah. And then she was like, okay, well, some people didn't make it because of the horrible weather that we had. Dumb people. So I was like, yes! So now I get to ask my tickling boots question from Tomorrow People. Yes!
Yeah, no, we got really lucky for the bad weather that we did not get, which should get us here ass early, but it was totally worth it, just in case.
I don't think any of you were in the interview with him, the first one, the time crash.
No. Unfortunately, no, because by the time I got there,
pedanted Davison. I had the nerd moment. It was both wonderful and horrible at the same time. Someone asked him why he wore the stick of celery, and he said, "Well, it wasn't my intention. It was J&T's." And he said, "I would be willing to wear this. Of course, it's a fake stick of celery, as long as at some point in time on the show they explain why I do it." So, of course, Caves Van Johnny come along, and I explained that it is because I am allergic to some kind of gas, and there's a moment he goes, which I can't remember. Pause. Practice spectrum! It's a practice spectrum! Yes, practice spectrum. And I'm just like...
Well, it was really bad up in the thing.
Yeah.
Up in the thing, because
What thing?
Up in the meet and greet.
Up in what thing?
Ben Grimm?
Yeah, no, and literally, I was the only one that was able to spout off geek knowledge about the show, about why they made the dialect movies, and it was the whole thing with Terry Nation and the copyright and stuff, and everybody's like, wow, you know that? I'm like, yeah, I feel really bad right now. I'm geeking out here, but it's my fandom.
You would think all these people on this trip with you, at least one other one.
I assumed Pixel Nathan would have gotten those.
Yeah, no, I explained why, and that's why we had the other monsters during Trout and Terror trying to replace the dialects, and nobody was like, they're like, wow, we didn't know that. I'm like, okay, wow, okay, I feel really nerdy here now in this room of Doctor Who nerds.
One of us.
Well, it's also because he showed Time Crash. I actually showed my wife Time Crash again. We watched it when it first happened, and she appreciated it because she was new Who. Yeah. So she's like, "Oh, this was another Doctor. Oh, this is really, really cool." So we finally got to the point where we watched The Visitation, where he loses the sonic screwdriver, where he uses the kettle and string, and then we watched Time Crash again. And you've got all these little moments that she didn't get, where Tennant tries to hand her the screwdriver. Oh no, you don't need this, do you? You're just gonna run around and save the universe with a kettle and a string, and she's laughing at these things.
You were the hands-on doctor.
I was like, yeah. See, now you know why I was laughing at so many other things now. So crazy.
Talking about Time Crash, that moment when you see his back, because that's what we see first. I mean, what did you feel?
It was this crazy, unbelievable thing. I was like, oh my god, because you know exactly who it is. Yeah. There's no doubt who it is. There's no way they're doing this. It's not going to make any sense. It's not going to look right. And then you see him, and they make it all just make sense.
Because honestly, I think we were so lucky at the time. We had the internet then, but still, there wasn't all the spoilers. No. And because honestly,
all the norms weren't into it.
All I knew was that they were doing the special, and I started watching it. And I had no idea he was going to be on there, and I literally, my jaw dropped. I couldn't say anything.
No, you were saying the same thing I was. The same thing they were saying. What?
That was going on in my head, but I was just in stunned silence. And then when Tennant does that speech tears.
It's a beautiful thing.
Because I mean that is how I've always felt. Because I mean he was my doctor growing up. He was that role model, and I was just like, I can't believe that Moffat did this. You know, wrote these lines. You know, gave Tennant these words to speak that I felt for such a long time, and it was just incredible.
I think it's probably safe to say that Tennant gave Moffat the words that Tennant was going to speak.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's just.
And when you said Moffat, I'm like, I couldn't figure out who we were talking about.
Oh, see what you did there.
Yeah.
Nice. Clank, clank, clank.
You're clever.
Oh.
I am.
But didn't time crash afterwards, though, when you see the Titanic come through, and we saw the picture of Eccleston on the Titanic?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, this was the teaser. We're going to get 2 doctors. And then we got Kylie Minogue. And she was great.
Yeah.
She was great.
You want to know what costume I'm wearing tomorrow?
Tell me.
Kylie Minogue.
Hey now.
Her Astrid Perry.
Hey,
out of my
hoping
head.
for a Valley
Can't
Couple
get you
Alpha.
out of my head.
But yeah, no. But and also, I thought that one thing that was really interesting that they're doing. I mean, and he's almost apprehensive because he thinks that they should appear as they once did, not as they do now, which I thought was really interesting. But of course, I think that if he's asked, he will do it.
Now, especially this season of Who, with all the stuff, all the throwbacks they've just been dropping out of nowhere. And if you know it, you know it, and if you don't, it doesn't mean anything to you. I've been wondering, and especially when we got the Brigadier's daughter.
Yes.
At that moment, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got this feeling that the anniversary's coming up. They have to be going back and like grabbing alternate takes, old episodes, something, cleaning it up to make something where you have all the doctors and they can do new lines, which I would love. And then now that's what all the rumors are. And I'm like, well, damn it, it's not going to be that now, damn internet.
Honestly, I think the one person, hands down, that they have to have for this anniversary, if there's one person that they have to bring back, it truly has to be Carolyn Ford. They have to bring her back. Because I don't think you have a 50th anniversary, and 50 years.
It's insane.
You have to bring back Carolyn Ford, especially with all the hints they've been dropping about family, where he came from. If there's one person that sums that all up, it's Susan.
It absolutely.
You're not my grandfather.
Oh, that was great.
Sorry, that's you just said Susan. That's the first thing I think.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, Colin Baker and Carolyn Ford in. But it was kind of nice to see Colin and the Brigadier together. Honestly, as bad as Dimensions in Time is, and especially since they spliced it over with EastEnders, it is really amazing to see all that history gathered in one place. And at the time, that was what? Was that the 25, I think?
It was 1993.
It was 93.
93.
Wasn't it? And that's funny. Well, I've never, tonight was the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
So I'd never seen it before, and I don't know anything really much about it other than what I've heard in passing. But
so that'd be the 30th.
That was 30th, yeah.
Yeah, but
and that wasn't entirely fan run, if none of EastEnders was on it. But that was, the show had been off the air for 4 years. Nothing had been made at that point in time. I think Arizona Solution was going to be made shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Again, haven't seen it, so ask me
You
again
will
tomorrow.
Sunday.
I will Sunday.
I think Drew needs one of those outrageously awesome shirts that the dude announcing it had.
Oh my God.
God, that was awesome.
Oh, they're so bad.
Yeah,
Let me put on my 3D specs.
I was like,
My shirt is way more 3D than these specs.
Yeah.
That was, wow, that was something special.
But yeah, we're sort of running out of time because Billy has to catch a late night panel.
I do.
So is there anything else we really want to say, sum up, talk about with Davison and our experiences with him thus far this weekend?
Davey still doesn't have a restraining order. We'll see how that goes.
It's only
He's
Friday.
working on it.
I will say that since the announcement of Davison at this con, I have gone back and I've reevaluated my opinion on the Fifth Doctor. I'm definitely looking on it a lot more favorably.
Honestly, we told the story last year when I was a kid. I didn't know, none of us knew, and Tom Baker was running around and having all these adventures, and one day he turned into this guy, and I got really pissed off because I was like, what the hell just happened? Because I had no flipping idea what was going on. And I really didn't watch like the next couple episodes that came on. I did not watch. I was like, I'm mad. Where'd my Doctor Who guy go? And then one random Saturday afternoon, they showed the 5 Doctors, and this blew my mind. This took this concept that I knew, as it turned out, so little about. And so, you know, he's running around, and you've got Davison. I'm like, well, now I've got to watch this. So I jumped just headfirst back into it. And he was Tom Baker, but he wasn't, but he was.
Yeah.
And that's what all the Doctors have done, and that's just what I love about this. It's just, even the new stuff. I love the new stuff because it is the same show. It is the same guy. It was never a reboot. They're all new, but they're all the same, and it's just amazing. So I do love what Davison did. One of the questions I did ask him, I was like, at the time, because he was the youngest Doctor at the time, which is kind of hard to imagine now.
Yeah, I know.
So weird. And I'm like, you know, they really changed the character on you. They took away your screwdriver. You know, they wanted to. Did you find any of this, you know, intimidating? He's like, well, no, because all of us have to make our own Doctor anyway. Yeah. So.
Yeah, one thing I think Kelly Yates brought up. He's an artist who's worked on IDW's Doctor Who comics.
He can draw you a restraining order.
Yeah, I know. I've had a really good time hanging out with him, especially on that trip and the meet and greet with Davison. He said if you go back to the very first episode, The Unearthly Child, the premise of the show has not changed from that episode.
No.
I mean, it has pretty much stayed the same. Of course, the Doctor doesn't, you know, kidnap people against their will. You know, he tricks them into coming along now. But I mean, the heart of the show has not changed in 50 years. It's still the same premise. You can go back to that first show and see where it started, and it's no different than where it is now, for the most part. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, it's amazing that
the Doctor's got a little less grumpy.
Yeah, so far.
Well, you know, you run around all important and grumpy like you do when you're young.
I know, but I think that was one of Drew's favorite scenes, the electrocution.
No,
companions.
That was definitely
Execution Ian.
yeah, that is pretty cool.
No, I didn't. Okay,
maybe, yeah.
You know, flesh burning is kind of my thing. You freaking weirdo.
Well, we are doing this on a bed, and this has been, I mean, an awesome episode of G-Card. This has been a lot of fun.
What are you drinking?
Stay in school, kids.
Shh, don't do drugs.
Study your math and history.
It's a good
or
way
you'll
to
have
be
me
a
as a
companion.
tutor. Wait a minute, I better not say that.
Yeah,
2 plus 2 is 5.
Help me.
Now put her head in a rat cage.
Yes. So,
wow.
This is GPR signing out until next time. Peace.
Davison's flipping awesome.
Was I the only one who got that reference that I made?
I enjoyed it.
1984? Yeah.
Indeed. Oh yeah, you all.